Vegas Circle with Paki and Chris, and we are sitting down with a sharp businessman. He's got partnerships with multiple different companies. He's with Mas Por Favor, I can't even say it, Stitch Clothing, and also Everbowl Craft Superfood is another new business he came out with. So we got Mr. J. Shaun White with us. So welcome to Circle, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Been trying to put this together for a little bit, man. So finally get you here,
all
man.
Good things in due time.
This brother been moving around everywhere, man. So we want to kind of just start a little bit from the beginning. I know you're originally from Southern California.
Correct.
When we were doing our research on you, I was surprised. I didn't know Barry White was your uncle.
Yeah.
So you actually grew up with the whole nine.
Yeah, he's the whole reason why we moved to Vegas in the first place.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so like, remember the Northridge earthquake?
Oh, yeah.
So we lived in the valley. We lived in Sherman Oaks, and where we live, our house shifted a little bit. So FEMA, they kind of did went door to door, literally checking everybody's house and foundation. Our slid.
Oh, interesting.
And they were like, look, you can either stay, but it might drop, or, you can get out and let it try to rebuild or whatever. So my uncle, he built that house from scratch. And he was like, no, we'll rebuild. So in the meantime, we moved here. He had a residency at the Hilton. So it was kind of like a test trial. So like, let's see how we like Vegas. It's close enough to LA where all our family is. Came out here. He liked it. My mom liked it. She got a house. He got a house. We stayed here for a little while. Then moved to San Diego for a little bit. Back around. So I went to like 3 different high schools in 4 years.
Okay.
But it was cool though, because for what I do now, like I met somebody in San Diego. I met somebody here, and I have all these ties to other places. So it worked.
It's funny when we're both originally from the Midwest, so it's like when you move around, you can be a chameleon a lot of times because you learn different cultures, you learn
relate to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can, man. So where do you think you got your hustle from?
My dad, and my mom. They both of them were not lazy people at all.
Yeah.
Even my uncle, like, I was around him. I lived with him until I was like 13, 14. So like I'd be with my dad on the weekends because he worked a lot. He was vice president of the urban department at Electra Records. So he would always be like, he'd be here one weekend in New York, blah, 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 always going, right? So, I mean, my parents always kept me busy. I saw they were busy. So like, I never got lazy. And then I have older sisters.
Okay.
But our age range is so crazy. Like they weren't really around.
Yeah.
But, so I would be with my mom. I'd get dropped off here, go with my dad. He'd be busy. And I go with my stepmom. She was in the music industry too. So like everybody was always like hustling. So I never really got like stagnant. And, like just watching them, I was like, I'll never be like that. You know what I mean? And then at a young age, my dad was like, if you want something, you got to go get it. I think everybody's parents say that. But like it all started like he took something away from me and he's like, I bought it. And he's like, if you want some of your own, earn your own money. And then nobody could take it from me because you bought it. That's like kind of like mindset.
Brain, yeah,
so he had me working, doing little chores and stuff. So I would buy my own toys, buy my own stuff. And he was like, oh, you're in trouble. I'm like, well, you can't take it. I bought it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Yeah.
How important do you think that was to like your success now? Do you think it was because you seen them hustling so much, or do you think it was more because they taught you those values of like, look, you need to work for what you want. We can have it, but it's ours.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we were talking about Shaq earlier. What did he say about his kids? He's like, I'm not. He goes, they're not rich. I'm rich.
Yeah, exactly.
He earned the money. So I think it was a combination of both of those things. Like I said, so I didn't have like a close sibling in my age. So I was kind of like a loner, but I played sports and stuff, but I always like eager to like do stuff, you know what I mean? Like and work and hustle. I don't know, just my dad, he instilled it into me. Yeah.
Yeah, we noticed. I mean, it's funny because like, Chris and I, we formed Vegas Circle because we wanted to, we started basically in July of 2018 and we were really looking at like, who's moving the culture in Vegas? How can we move the culture to Vegas? Because we felt like there was a missing piece to that, right? And we saw with you, I mean, you've definitely done that. You built a lot of connections in networking at the WYNN Hotel, and then obviously building, some of your partnerships now. But you have a diverse portfolio, and I noticed with your background, it makes sense. You have a strong, basically, connection working in the club industry.
Correct.
But then you started going into the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
What was kind of that shift, and what was the thought process?
So the shift with it was working at the WYNN, like you get people from everywhere. So it's like a salad bowl.
Sure.
And like I said, you got to be able to relate to everybody. Because when I first started as a host, just a regular host. But there was like 20 of us. So the thing is, it's like we're all in competition, but we all got the same goal. We're trying to make money, trying to sell tables or whatever.
Yeah.
But one thing I found that was really good, and the fact that I moved around so much, I could relate to somebody from North Dakota or New York or whatever. And I find that common ground, whatever it is, and then I just ride with it. And I just kind of took off on that. Like I wasn't, I just only need to deal with black people and athletes and celebrities. Like, no, I want to do it with the oil guy from Texas, the dude from Dubai. Because there's going to be something that any of those guys don't have that I can have the key to. Like I got something,
Very
you know what I'm saying?
So, yeah.
So that's what I try to do. I try to find my common ground with everybody. And then being at the WYNN, this is now my 12th year. Seeing restaurants come, seeing restaurants go, doing walks, doing tastings. You get invited to all these new openings and all this stuff. So I kind of started paying attention. I'm not really a foodie, but I do love good food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I got my little staples. And there's a place in Miami called Bodega. And what it is, it's a speakeasy. And it looks really run down in the front. And we were going to live one night, me and my boy, and we was like, man, we don't got time to eat, but let's grab something quick. So the Uber driver took us, he's like, go to Bodega. So we went there, we were sitting outside, and a Uber of girls got out. My boy was like, yo, holler at them, see if they want to roll with us. So I was like, all right, let me finish my tacos. So I peeked my head inside, and I'm telling you, it's not that big inside. So I'm like, all right, I don't know where these girls went. Went back outside. Another car, 2 girls go in. I'm like, bro, all right, I'm going to get them. So I go in, disappear. I'm like, yo, what? And the security guard sitting there, he saw me twice. He started laughing. He's like, go in the bathroom. I'm like, bro, I can't go in the bathroom. He's like, no, go in the bathroom.
That's what the door is.
Go to the bathroom, go to that side. And it was a whole vibe. We didn't even go on the lift. We stayed there the whole night, right? Yeah. But more of the story is like, I saw that. I'm like, yo, this is something hidden. It's secret. It's dope. It remind me like downtown LA. Like Vegas doesn't have this. Like we got a downtown or you're on the strip. Yeah. You know, I'm like, we need something kind of quirky. So me and 2 of my other partners, we kind of pitched around. One of them's really a restaurant guy. Like he really into that. And I'm like, all right, look, that's what you're good at. I can drive the people. I can get us connected in certain circles.
Is that Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay, I met Ryan at Lynetta. Yeah, I met him in person. He's a good dude. Real good dude.
So like he's a mastermind on the operational side. I'm really good at marketing and driving people and putting, you know, the dots together. Like, oh, we need this. Okay, I got a guy who can do that. So we all, and J-Rock and our other person, Aaron, but we all, the collective of us, you know, it worked out really good.
Do you think yourself like more of an entrepreneur? Like, have you always had that vision of kind of branching off, doing your own thing? Or do you think of like more like the opportunity presented itself?
You know, it was weird. I never really thought of branching off. I was just kind of like, I got a really good job. I've been here for a while. Let me see where I can go. And then as a course of being there over 11 years, like people took a liking to me, like, hey, you know, I do this. I could use your help. I'm like, well, I don't know how I can help you. Let's figure it out. Like I had one guy, his dad had the patent for some underground oil pipe, right? That won't leak, won't corrode. It'll be here 50,000 years from now, right? And he was like, you could come help me. I was like, bro, I have
zero idea what this
is in that to move to New Orleans. But there was so many opportunities that I started getting from people that I dealt with so much. And it was just like, I would always say no, because work was first. I'm like, no, I got to work. I can't take time and focus on that and try to do this. And then things started just happening for me. I got a little more freedom with work to where I can take off and move around. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to say yes to this one, yes to that. I don't want to say yes to everything because then people are like, bro, what is the one thing you are good at? I got so much. But I wanted to focus on a few good things.
What I cracked up about, because me and my wife actually went to Moscow before when we first talked on the phone, it's so funny because it's in Chinatown. What, like, that is a hell of an idea to be on Spring Mountain. You know, you're on Spring Mountain and you're still close to the Strip, but you're in Chinatown, but it's a Mexican restaurant. What is that the whole spinoff?
It just happened.
Okay.
Ryan and J-Rock, they both knew a guy who had the spot prior.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't do anything with it. They just literally built the kitchen. I don't remember what kind of restaurant they were trying to build, but they just built the kitchen. And so when we got there, the hoods were there, the grills were there. I mean, we changed some stuff, but the hoods was like, those were like $75,000 each. Jeez. So that was like a big chunk. We were like, all right, we're going to make this spot work. We're going to figure it out. Yeah. You know, and then it was just kind of like, you know what? We got this long hallway. We could put a door here. We could paint this and, you know, we could make it like a drug. You know what? This will work. And it just happened to be, you know, a Mexican spot in Chinatown next to Hot and Juicy and the furniture store. Like it just, you know, it just works.
It does work. It just set up. I said, what the heck?
Sucks is just the parking, but other than that, like it's cool.
Like you can make these spins on the things that you want them, which is great. You know, how important is it? Because I'm assuming it's a lease or with that. Yeah. So like, was all that equipment included with the lease? Yeah. So how important do you think that was to your initial success, not to pay all those upfront costs?
Well, it was huge. It was huge, and actually, we owe a lot of it to the pandemic, honestly, because when we opened, like, you know, we opened so quick that, like, you know, the grease trap was messing up. Then it had this funky smell. So, and all this stuff. And then when they shut the city down, we got a chance to, like, we had a small taste, like, all right, this is how busy it's going to be. This is going to be like Then we had to shut down, so we got to go back in there and fix everything, make it exactly how we wanted, and, you know, because we saw the flow of it instead of kind of like trying to fix as we go. So we shut it down, and then when the strip shut down and you were able to open up restaurants with like X amount of people, blah, 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 all those rules we had, it worked because people were still coming to Vegas, and locals here had nothing to do. And with our network, we were like, hey, we got a spot. We could kind of make it like almost like the prohibition, like, you know, we ain't supposed to have 10 people, but we're going to fill it up.
That's smart.
And then it became like, oh man, we can't get in, but what's back there? So we had that little kick before the strip got going, and people kind of got accustomed to coming. And it kind of, we saw the transition of people not so much wanting to go out, kind of just want to kick it at our spot. And then it just worked.
That's awesome.
You know?
No, it makes complete sense. It's a really cool spot, man.
Yeah.
It's a really cool spot. And then, so then you also got into the fashion, right? So you connected with Iman and connected with them with Stitch, correct? And that's at Cosmo and also at Tivoli.
Correct.
So how'd you connect with them?
So my partner in Moss, J-Rock, right? Okay. He was there a little bit before me, and he was like, yo, you want to get some suits? And I was like, well, I wear suits all the time. And I had a really good guy that came to my crib. He was like, nah, man, you got to try this place, blah, blah, blah. So met Iman and Ricky that used to be there.
Oh, yeah, we know Ricky. He was a friend of the show. He just started his new,
So Ricky was like on my head, like, yo, you got to come in. Let me just suit you up, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right. So we sat there. I'm like, bro, I can be a walking billboard for you because I have to wear suits at work. And I'm around all these people. I mean, I have an endless supply of customers for you between casino hosts, executives, you know, everybody, like a lot of those dudes wear the same suit. And I kind of like to get funky with mine. Sometimes I wear, you know, matching or like mismatch, but I always got it tailored like nice. I take a lot of pride in that. So, you know, over the course of the years, they were like, look, we're going to bring you on as an ambassador. And I would send them all the athletes that I had that were like, we're in town, or just some of the business guys, because they're like, yo, where you get your suits from? I'm like, oh, it's right here. I'm like, bro, they'll knock you out. They created a package for us. So we like could sell stuff like, oh, just tell me you want Jay Sean's package and he'll hook you up. And J-Rock, you know, the same. And then like I do Del Mar, right? The horse racing. Crazy suits, and I got friends that are going, oh man, I don't know what to wear. Come by the spot, I got you, you know. So it just kind of, and then eventually we talked to Iman, and Iman was like, hey, look, we want to make you a partner. So me and J-Rock are like, no brainer.
That's funny. So it's like another thing that you didn't really branch out for. It kind of just fell. That's like
you're a walking billboard.
That's
you don't realize it. I mean, that's how Jordan and Britney Spears, all these people have made their money. So and you find your right pocket and jump on it. So
and it was, I mean, it was a win-win. Like I have to wear suits at work. So like, why not? You know?
Especially you start recruiting everybody else that does the same job. Like, hey, well, come get on the team.
That's amazing to be able to do that. So then you kind of transition into, because of the health, right? So you end up forming, is it acai bowls? Is that what you guys do? Okay. So how did that work? Is it online or is it brick and mortar? Or
yeah, it's brick and mortar. So that's a franchise out of San Diego.
Oh, okay.
A friend of mine had one in San Diego, and then ended up acquiring a couple of them. And he was like, yo, we want to do the Vegas market. Where should we go? I'm like, I know some areas, blah, blah, blah. And I haven't had it before. And then I went down there, and he's like, you got to try it. I'm like, cool. So I tried it. I'm like, yo, this is sick. Like, I like it. It's good. It's healthy. It's not, you know, load bearing, you know, and all this stuff. And, you know, chopped it up. And he was like, yo, we got to get you on the team. And I was like, man, I already got all this other stuff. And I was like, but you know what? I don't want to involve myself in anything that I don't believe in, or something that like is not me. You know, somebody was like, oh, push this. I'm like, I'm just doing it for you, not for me. So like, I think anybody who's starting anything, you really got to be about it. Don't look at the money. You know what I mean? Because if you're really about it, the money will come. That's easy. You know what I'm saying? Even for Everbowl, I didn't get paid for a while. And when I do it, it was nothing like, holy shit, it's life changing. It's just a cool like mailbox check. Like, cool. You know, I'm just take this and keep saving it. But that came about. And they were like, you know, we want to do the Vegas market. If you're down, we'll give you a couple stores.
That's a no-brainer.
Like, all right. You know what I mean? Like,
no-brainer.
For sure. They're like, yeah. And it wasn't like, oh, we'll give you stores. You just show your face. Like, no, like, here's how the process works. Like, learn how it goes. Taste it so you know what you're talking about. And the thing is, I'm like, I'm cool because now that's like a part of my weekly regimen. Like, I go work out. I'll pop over there, eat, do my thing, you know, and then with all the athletes that I know, they're all into it. I know a bunch of the Raiders, and they came right when we had our first store. So I had them pull up, and they're like, yo, bro, we like this. And then the COO of it came out here and was like, yo, this is untapped market. Like, let's do a couple more stores. And we ended up getting an Allegiant Stadium. So now we have 2 in Allegiant.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's cool. And we're like the only healthy thing in the whole stadium.
Yeah. That's love, man. So it's like being able to do all these things, it makes so much sense because you're in the lane. Like you said, you're like you're literally speaking everything into existence, but also just taking advantage of all this networking, man. So do you actually have your own marketing company too? Or you just built a relationship with WYNN?
Oh, so like far as...
Because it seemed like, so you actually work for WYNN Corporation.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you actually the client.
Years. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm the director of customer development for Nightlife.
Oh, okay. So that's how it works. So where did you first start off with? Like what club or bar did you start off with?
I first started with Alex Cordova at the Rock Bar in New York, New York.
Okay.
Started there.
Okay.
As a straight like promoter.
Okay.
And I killed it. And then I ended up meeting Larry Murphy at Aria.
Oh, okay.
When Hayes opened up.
Okay.
So the good thing about that really helped set me off, when they built it was Gold Lounge upstairs at first.
Oh, that's right. In Aria. I remember that on the second floor.
At the very top.
Yep.
So with the hotel opening and that open, I met all the casino. Everybody was brand new, from casino to valet. We all did training together. So I met all these people. We're all new, right? And we were the hottest thing on property. Like, they're going to do Gold Lounge. So we did this big invite for all the casino hosts. They invited all their clients, like everybody came. And I was running the door. Like I ended up, I got lucky on that spot too. I went, short story, I went for my interview. And they're like, come in a suit. And they were already doing walkthroughs, right? So I walk up, ropes closed. And the guy was like, just wait 1 second. We're doing a walkthrough. Just wait out here. So I'm just standing by the road waiting, And Andy and Andrew, Sasson and Massey came. They owned Light Group at the time. Mm-hmm. They came and they were trying to go in, dressed plain Jane. And I told them they couldn't go in. And they're like, what do you mean we can't go in? I'm like, look, I'm here for an interview. They're doing a walkthrough. I was told not to let anybody in. You can't go in. And they looked at each other. I didn't know they owned the place. They looked at each other like, this motherfucker. And I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, you can't. Like, I'm on my job interview. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I was so adamant about not letting them in. And then the guy who was interviewing me came out, no, they got to get in. These guys own da. And they're like, you know what? We like how polite you were, but also you didn't flex. So now you're going to be our door guy. So that's how I met all the casino hosts. Funny. And then when we moved downstairs, to Hayes, it was like, now I got the whole Rolodex of everybody, because I was the only guy that ran the table line. So all the big customers came through me. And then when I went to the WYNN, I had this Rolodex with me, and they're like, oh shit, you're at the WYNN. I was like, yeah.
Is that kind of like part of your long-term vision to keep at the WYNN? Because as you kind of continue growing these side ventures, it almost like they feed off each other. Like, do you feel like you have to kind of stay there to continue to feed these other ventures?
You know what's funny? Like, I'm kind of like at apex right now, because I'm opening 3 other things, and that is really gonna not take me away from the WYNN, but like, once those get going, I have to be full time on that, and I can only do Nightlife for so long. I've been there.
I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there 12 years, and I've had a great run, and I wouldn't take it back for anything, because I wouldn't be where I'm at without it. But I also want to do other stuff within the hotel. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a casino host. Yeah. Because no offense to them, but it's just too kind of boring for me. But there's a way to still kind of do that. So essentially what I'm saying is, like, with Kentucky Derby, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
The only way I feel like I can meet people is if I go to their city or go somewhere else before they get here. So if I meet you in San Diego, right, at Del Mar Open, and the WYNN, we have a suite, somebody invites you up there, we end up exchanging info. Now I'm already your one dude that you know in Vegas before you even come there. My job is just keep tabs with you. Like, hey man, it was a pleasure meeting you, blah, 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 blah. Genuine as possible. Don't bullshit, because people see right through that. Yeah. And then when you come to Vegas, you're like, you know what? I met Jay Shaun at the Derby, man. I had a great time. We had a great convo. Let me see what he can do for me. Hey man, I'm staying at the WYNN. I set you up. Now I got you. Now you trust me. Now you're gonna refer me. You're gonna refer people to me, and that's how I built my network. But it also works when they're like, oh yeah, what else should I do? Oh man, I got a restaurant down the street. If you can't get an SW.
Just do this.
Vice versa.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's almost like most people that we have on the show are great networkers. But like, you're one of the only people I met that's like a network by profession. That's your whole job. It's like you're out networking.
It's a gift and a curse. I'm happy that I'm able to do it. But sometimes like I have a friend in New York, and he's like, yo, I know you know somebody out here. Where should I go? What should I do? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, bro, I'm not even getting paid for this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, let me help you. Like, go here, blah, blah. Here's a number, I set it up. But again, like, that just helps me retain that person because no matter where they go, they're gonna call me, or when they come to Vegas, they're gonna send everybody. Jay's gonna hit you up. Like,
take care of you.
Unless, do you think that's like a developed skill that you kind of had over the years? Or do you think you're just a natural networker because of the upbringing?
I've always been a natural networker, and I think that's really in part because of my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he
build his whole company.
Yeah, that's what he did. I mean, like, he signed like 9 Inch Nails, leader of a new school, like Hell of Silk, Keith Sweat, like all these dudes. And you know, when you're an artist, and you're really good, you got people vying for you, like, oh, come sign here, come sign here. But you only go, or even if you're a college recruit, you only go to somebody that you feel an attachment with.
Yeah.
And people always attach themselves to my dad. Like, he had a great name in the music industry. So it was just I think just being around him and seeing how he can navigate this circle, and that circle. But everybody like would say the same thing about him. He wouldn't go in this circle and they say one thing, or everybody had the same thing. So I just think being around him, it just kind of just
paid off. Yeah. How do you feel about like the nightlife in Vegas? Like, how do you compare the nightlife in Vegas versus like a bigger markets, like let's say Miami, like we were talking about before? How do you compare that?
It's funny you say Miami because I go like once a month.
Do you really? Okay.
Yeah, I go all the time. I mean, Vegas is more to me, and nothing against my people in Miami, but it's more like who you are. I want to be seen. You know, like in Miami, you could be anybody, but actually they got money out there. There's like generational wealth out there. Like here, Vegas, I could, just because I work out or whatever, I could be a athlete. I could play for the Bengals. I could do whatever, and nobody would know. You know what I mean? Like, you could be whatever you want out here. I feel the nightlife out here has more of a hospitality to it. You know, like, we're more nice out here versus like, say, LA or Miami or New York. You know, I feel like everyone's like, yeah, fuck you, who are you? No, you're not doing it. But here we like, you don't know. Like, I could walk up to the rope, be a nobody to you, and go in there and drop 20 grand, and you be like, yo, that dude just walked up.
Or the owner of the business that you're trying to get a job.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, this dude just walked up, dropped 20 grand. Like, dude off the rope. Like, this shit happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel just our nightlife is just, I just feel like it's a little bit more better, a little more class. Like, you feel safe out here. You know what I mean? Like, people used to hate the triple pat downs before you go in the club. I want that.
No,
you know, but ain't nobody shooting the club up here at all.
You walk outside a club in Miami or New York, like literally across the street, somebody's waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little harder out here. I feel, you know, and our nightlife is fun. You know, you get a variety, and not only that, like, everything is on one street. So it's like, oh, this club's back, let me go right across the street. Oh, this club's back and go right across the street. Versus like in Miami, if you're downtown but you want to go to live, you got to go all the way down to South Beach. And
that's true. You know, it could waste your night too, driving through traffic and
you're trying to keep the momentum and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you find, like, because the nightlife is a lot, right? Because you could be up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. How do you have that work-life balance of everything? Because you got all the other businesses too. I know you always in the gym doing the whole diet. How do you keep all of that together, man?
Priorities. You know, everybody got their priorities. Just keep them straight. You know, and like I said, I wouldn't want to associate myself or put myself or brand myself or align myself with anything that I don't actually do. You know, so like, yeah, I'm in the nightlife. I do go out, but I know how to do it in moderation. I'm not out getting lit. You know, my videos might look like I'm fucking good. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm marketing where I work. So when you see that, yo, bro, XS looked like it was cracking last night. Well, you see what Jay and then we're with last night? Yeah. But you don't know, I'm out there at 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? You know, I still might be up. You know, you get customers here and there. You got to hang out a little longer. But also, like, I feel if I can go out for 2-3 hours, I can get my ass up and go to the gym for 1 hour and 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to.
Discipline.
And especially early in the morning before my phone goes off. You know, like 7 in the morning, nobody's up thinking about XS tonight. You know, so let me hurry up and get my shit straight before you start blowing me up, you know, taking away from all my other stuff. And then all the other businesses have like their dedicated days, you know, for like the new stuff that I'm doing with my other partner. Tuesdays, that's our day to get whatever we got to get done. And of course, stuff happens along the week, but you make sure like, okay, Tuesday for this spot, Wednesdays for this spot, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean?
Just get organized, man. That's good. And then you also branched in as a brand ambassador for Yardine too, right? So how did that all play out, man? Because they're doing a big buzz with marketing.
Man, huge. So Zach, that's over there. He's a partner. I've known him forever.
Okay.
And we've always wanted to do stuff together. We always feed off each other. Because when he's at the Rhino, like, I send him a bunch of business, vice versa. And, you know, we just have a good relation. And he's like, yo, I'm going to get into the weed stuff. And I was like, I really can't because of where I work and how we're affiliated. Like, there's certain stuff we can and can't be a part of. But they have a healthy component, which is all the CBD stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I played sports, I work out, I get tired, I use CBD stuff, you know, for recovery. I mean, I've had friends that, for health benefit wise, they use it and stuff like that. So I was like, look, I can't like push all that, but like say y'all doing an event, I could push that. If you're doing like a healthy line, I was like, let me segue my stuff into the healthy stuff. You know what I mean? So like that's where I help with them.
And it matches your image too of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes a lot of sense.
Because I don't want to. I mean, it's nothing against them, but I don't want to. You know, some people use it for medical purposes, and others use it to turn up.
Yeah.
I don't use it for the turn up part, but I could showcase what I can align myself with and which I actually do. You know, that stuff like that. And then again, to help them, I got athletes, celebrities that come to town like, yo, where can I get right here? You know what I mean?
Be the whole nine.
And they're more than accommodating. You know?
You know what's amazing? I love how you put everything together because it's like you have so many people that are influencers, right? And they don't care what their influence is. They don't care what the marketing piece is or the product. And you've completely separated that and you're still able to make your money because you believe in it. And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people don't speak behind a word, you know?
Is that because you have that personal connection to all the people that you're kind of promoting it to and that makes a big impact?
Well, that too, but I also have like personal connections with people that do stuff that like, I'm like, bro, I don't do that. Like, it'll just be... you can tell when somebody really wants you to be a part of something versus what you have to offer.
Yeah,
sure. So like, you know, again, I got a crazy Rolodex. They're like, yo, man, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. Can you bring them over here? I'm like, nah, because I would never go there. So it's kind of hard. And if I send them over there and they have a bad time, it's going to be like a notch against me. Like, yo, Jay, you told me to go to this spot. Well, I really wanted you to go because my boy owned it, you know, to help him out. But I mean, and if you're really my friend, you're going to understand that and they like, respect it. Like, look, this might not be where I can help you, but I might know somebody else who can, but I can't really align myself with that, you know? You
gotta have that gift of gab, man, to be able to move through all the BS because everybody's pulling for your time. So, you know, we always ask our guests, especially you being in this, but what is your favorite restaurant in Vegas, other than your own? Javier's. Okay, Aria. Yeah, that's a good spot.
Javier's, because I used to go to the one in California.
Okay.
And man, those shredded chicken tacos.
Oh man,
that's a good spot. I like Javier's.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not a foodie. Like my partner Lo, like he could tell you a menu on every restaurant, what to get. I mean, he knows it. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, there's Barry Steakhouse, and there's Javier's, and there's Chipotle, and that's where I'm at.
You know what I'm saying? Like, break it all down.
You know, I got my little things, you know, but yeah, I just love Javier's.
That's what's up, man. I don't think I'm trying to remember if anybody brought up Javier's, but I like Javier's. It's good spot, man. What can you leave our listeners with just with business advice? Because there's obviously a lot of young people that look for you. There's people that are pulling for your time, people that might want to get into the WYNN or get into that industry, or maybe they want to build a restaurant or whatever they want to do. What would you give like a business tip or a business nugget, you know, for them?
I feel, well, Jay-Z and all them, of course, those guys are great, but they always say align yourself with people you want to be in the same room with. You know what I'm saying? Yep. There's never a dumb question. And honestly, like I've been saying the whole show, align yourself or do something that you really believe in. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the money will come. You know, at some point in time it will come. Like just say Floyd, for example, right? Yeah. I'm not sure if he loved boxing right off the rip or his parents got into it, but once he loved it and saw like this is for me, like you see the money came. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a prime example. And my dad told me the story. I didn't know this. Keith Sweat, he worked on Wall Street, right?
I didn't know
he was in the stocks, and he was really good at it. And he would sing on the side because he loved it. He loved it.
I never knew this story. Yeah.
And so finally, he stepped away, and he doing what he loved, and you know the money comes. So like, but he did the stocks because that's what his parents pushed him to. That's you know, and he wasn't in love with it. He didn't really like it. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Do what you love.
And Keith Sweat was a beast.
He was
man.
a beast, and he still is a beast. He's like, take it all, cash only. But you know what I'm saying? But, like, but he's, you know, and I'm so if I could to answer your question, like that's what I would say. It's nothing crazy. Like half the stuff I did anyway, but now I can get paid for it or like actually do something with it. Yeah. It's dope. You know what I mean? It'll come. Like don't push it. Don't force it. Just timing. It's timing. Yeah. It's all timing. You know.
I think that's the wisdom, man. Because we've been doing it for a while, man, and you learn so much from different people, and a lot of people say that.
And you never know like who you sit next to that might be paying attention. You know, and like, look, I see what you're doing, and I can help you. Because I see you're passionate about it, and this is what I want to do for you. You know, and usually those are the people that already got there. And like my partner, he's like a mentor to me. So I'm opening a gym. I'm opening a gym.
Okay.
I'm opening a Mediterranean bistro.
Okay.
A fast casual, another spot, fast casual, kind of like Chipotle, but think like Mediterranean food.
We just talked about Chipotle last night. Yeah. Fred, the stocks was Chipotle.
But you know how you go in and grab your stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, it's gonna be just like that. Just think like food like a Milo's, but like in a Chipotle style. And you go in, grab it, and dip.
Go. Yeah.
And then we're doing a treat spot. It's called thick and thin, right? So you got like the thin side is like pressed juices, acai bowls, and like that. And the thick side is like milkshakes and all this stuff. But it's healthy, like all organic stuff. But it looks like I'm about to get a milkshake.
Yeah.
But you really
visually in your mind. Yeah. That's what I need.
You psych yourself out. Yeah. And long story short, like I've always been around my mentor. His name is Lou, and I've always been around him and his kid, and he's always like dropping these little gems on me and stuff like that. And then he brought me to a whole different world, rubbing elbows with different people, and I had something they didn't have. Like, yeah, they may have had the money or this, but they didn't have the simplest connection to one thing or one person, or didn't know how to do it. And I was that missing piece of the puzzle. And then in return, they opened my eyes to a whole new world and like, yo, you should utilize what you can do and blah, 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 blah. And again, I didn't press it. I didn't force it. It just happened. You know what I mean? So anything I would tell an entrepreneur, just let it happen. You know, it'll happen.
That's what's up, man. It's an absolute pleasure to pick your brain, man. 100%. Yeah, you a beast with it, man. We're gonna keep rooting for you, man. Wherever you're doing. Where can people reach you? I know your social handle, but
everything I got is at J Shaun White. I just keep it simple. Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Just JISHAUN, last name White. You can reach me at the WYNN.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm easily accessible. I'm not hard to find. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always around. Yeah.
It's good stuff. But pay attention to him, man. He's killing the game, and we appreciate you hanging out. And definitely subscribe with us. And thevegacircle.com. So appreciate you, bro. That was good stuff, man. Yeah, that was real good.